Hey, what's up, everybody? Sorry about that. It never fails. I can try to be on time and do the things I need to do. I'm still trying to work out just work out how everything works. That's the thing about not having a producer and all those beautiful things. It's just work out the kinks and everything. It gets you every time. I ain't never fails. But it's all good though. We here, got everything squared away. There she go. Apologies, man. I was coming on, and like I said, it's just I don't know. We got to get this down packed some kind of way. That's why I tell everybody, uh, not the most. You got to be sometimes you got to be a savage in certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I guess you got to just do it over and over and over. And I've done a lot of lives, but it seems like lately that sometimes I get to the point like last week, my printer went print. The printer went print based off my but I digress. It's not gonna stop me from continuing to try to get things out there, the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I can get Kerry to get back on. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and the other gentleman that was on. Um the thing about it, baby, was it let me see. What's
Damn.
that? Cuda Black. I try to read the numbers, man. Hey, no glasses only work so distance, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, um what's it? Cutter Black? Cutter Black? Is that Cutter Black? If I'm saying that right. What's going on, man? Um, no, and so anyway, Black at 104. But anyway, the what we was talking about, babe, just basically talking about the last mile. A lot of people ask me, it's okay, how do how do I, get in and you know, understand how to make money. Well, first of all, you got to get in with a warehouse. You got to get in with, dealing with a broker. But understanding when you get in, you know, um, understand when you get in that it's like, okay, I'm gonna get in as far as like, how to make my money. The last mile in transportation, it's like that last situation from the distribution center or the warehouse to the customer, number one, or number two, you know, um, you know, to a to the from the distribution center to the warehouse and then also to the customer, because what happens is it's so many different things that goes along with the last mile. One is a lot of it's local. A lot of it's local. A lot of it's like when you, let's say, when somebody, like, I give you a perfect example. Um, when you receive something from, let's say, Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Where Amazon automatically is getting it from what? A distribution center, right? Amazon, I'm sorry. The customer, when you receive it to your door, you're getting it from Amazon, the distribution,
Yeah.
right? Okay, now where did the package come from? It came from probably a warehouse that, uh, I'm sorry, did it's what they call it. Oh God, I can't think of what they call it. It's a um, fulfillment center,
Right.
right? So Amazon's a fulfillment center, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So it came from a distribution, let's say, whoever it is, let's say, because most small businesses will send their stuff to Amazon, and they're gonna send it through FedEx or whatever have you.
Right.
Where and then and so when it gets to where the last mile is, the last mile is when it gets to your door, or what I'm saying, and that could be done either
But why is it called the last mile?
um because it's because the process where it now makes it to the optional being to the customer.
Hmm?
That's why when you have a courier that delivers it, like when we did, it's a process, but when you get to the last mile of it, it's like when you got to carry a van or a bike or sprinter or anything like that brings it to the customer. That's the last mile.
So it's delivered in a non-traditional way, which is
No. It could be traditional, but the last mile also too can be. Let me take that back. The last mile can also be where it's delivered to a freight forwarder or it's delivered to a distribution center where it can be, like you can do what they call uh, what you call it? I can't. When you got to pick up, I can't think of it. The pickup at the distribution center. Um, but you have that pickup, and it's actually like when the customer comes and
a hot
live.
shot or some
No,
sort.
that's a hot shot is when it's very crucial, critical. It's when it's like a live pickup basically. When you go to the distribution center and pick it up. So sometimes those can be considered,
Live.
like I said, yeah, Hey, Carrie. Sorry about that. But yeah, it can be considered the last mile. But a lot of times, the last mile, like I said, some can be based off of when you deal with a container. A container gets to a distribution center,
Mhm.
and then what I did the other day
Mhm.
can be considered a live pickup basis. What is when somebody come to the distribution center and pick it up themselves. Um, and then like I said, that could be considered a last mile. Like once it gets to the container is taken off the train, and then the trucks it local to
Mhm.
the distribution center, and then the distribution center uh, has it where now okay now you can put it on a box truck, a sprinter, um, or you can have a live pickup, and so, but some of that could be the last mile, and and a lot of it, like I said, is based off the local kind of sort. Because, like I said, if something coming from, let's say something coming from China, that's gonna come in on a container. You know what I'm saying? But once it come in on the container, it's like okay, now that makes it like okay, get to the distribution center. But how does it get to the distribution center? Well, it comes off. A lot of it is done in a couple phases. One, if it comes, I'm sorry, if it comes off a ship, the ship
Mhm.
usually, let's say, coming out of Savannah, it's gonna come out of the port of Savannah. All right, the port of Savannah may do one or two things. They're gonna put it on a truck or they're gonna put it on a train. If it's on a train, then guess what? It still is gonna come to Atlanta. Let's say Atlanta, come to Atlanta, it come to a CSX or Norfolk Southern, comes to the rail. So from there, now it's gonna be like, okay, it's time to get it to the distribution center, which is the distribution center or the fulfillment center, right?
Mhm.
So now from here, okay, now that's part of the last mile because now it's local. But then now, okay, how do you get it to someone's home? Now that's when you got the sprinter, the box trucks, the vans. Some of them can do it with motor scooters and bikes, and that's your last mile process.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of the thing about the last mile, I would say it's all when it's local, basically, um, and and that's where I think a lot of the electric vehicles gonna come in. Uh, Most of your electric vehicles gonna probably be local, like things like garbage trucks, dump trucks, and you know sprinters, and you know you know Dodge ProMasters, box trucks, because if they got all like a local city deliveries and things like that, it'd be a lot more better for the environment having electric vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not going that far.
Mhm.
So they're going to be a part of the process as far as the last mile. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about the last mile, but the thing about the last mile, it's not cheap now. It's not cheap.
No.
The whole process of transportation is not cheap.
Right.
I would automatically say transportation probably takes up, let's say, the whole process of the delivery, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna pay for delivery, like between a truck picking it up to get it to the ship, number
Mhm.
one,
Mhm.
as far as if it's overseas, all right, and then the process of getting it from the ship, whether it's train or with a truck, to the distribution or fulfillment center.
To
Okay,
the
and
customer.
then I'm sorry, second.
Nothing. I listen.
Oh yeah. So what I was saying is, so when you get it from the from the train, I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
from the ship to the distribution center, which would be train, or the fulfillment center, which would be train or to be truck, right? So
Right.
that's a part of that last mile, and then once it gets to the distribution or the distribution or the fulfillment center, then now okay, it still got to make it to the homes. You see what I'm saying? And so now
That's
you
the
got
last
the
mile.
sprint, you got the well, all of us, yeah. Well, once it go local, that's when it really begins to
It becomes the last mile
last mile.
when it
Yeah.
comes local.
hmm
Okay.
Because now it's to the point where okay, we got to get it to the customer,
Exactly.
and so but the process of the whole situation with transportation, as far as the budget, um, they estimated the budget used to be around somewhere around, I think it was around 51 to around 41 to 50% of the cost, 53% or 40 something percent of the shipping cost. So that means that from point when it leave wherever it is, let's say overseas, to the final mile, it's 53% of that shipping cost. So if it's $3,000 to ship everything total, right? I give it, it's $3,000. That's times. So that means that technically, just think about it for a moment. Of that $3,000, at least 1,590, and I know it's higher because you're talking about on the ship. So I'm just giving it's probably definitely higher because once it go on that ship and all that, that's a whole different fee and all that. The point is that let's just say it was just based off of between the truck getting to the ship and then once it get to, let's say, America,
Mm-hmm.
then from there to here, if
Mm-hmm.
that cost right there is $3,000. Like I said, we're not talking about the boat coming across the water. We're just talking about tires on the ground. Okay. Let's say we use the estimate of $3,000, what they're budgeting for that. That 15, it's like 53% of that. So it's like I said, $3,000. It might have cost them 1,590. Now to that's 53% to ship that. And
Mm-hmm.
we're not talking about the handling, because see, like I said, there's a process also too in that 3,000 is, um, you know, making sure that everybody plays a role in unloading it, receiving it in, you know, all those things play a role into that $3,000. But
Mm-hmm.
of that $3,000, it's a higher rate. Is 53% of it is the shipping when you put it in the last mile, and then once you get it to that customer, like how sometimes you might say, like Amazon might bring it to the house or something like that. I'm not giving no on my platform, but the point is that that there's a cost in there. So of that 1590, they might be $200. You see what I'm saying? So that last mile situation definitely can get a little bit. All that can be, it's tied into it, the last mile can be a percentage of that 3,000. That's why I tell anybody. Even I told you, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I read an
Mm-hmm.
article where I don't know if I want to say I'm just gonna say it's one of the main players out here that said um, they rather they they rather just instead of you giving you a refund or you returning it back
Right.
to them because of the shipping
Right.
costs, they just
Right.
rather send you another one.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying, because the shipping cost is just, you look at the price of diesel. The price of diesel in Georgia is like $3.45.
Yeah.
You said, and I gotta tell anybody, if your truck not averages 6 miles to the gallon, and that's $3.45 a gallon. So and so. You know, so if your truck not averaging, this is what's it, $3.05. You know, it's like your truck should be your if your truck that if you think about it, if you don't watch yourself, your truck could be over what 18, $19 a gallon. Just $19. You know, if you don't break it down as far as six,
Mm-hmm.
to the gallon, and you going back, you'll be even spent 20 some dollars if you don't have one that making 6 miles to the gallon. That means now you 6 miles to the gallon. That's pretty good because that's $3.45. You're getting 6 miles out of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but if you got your truck where it's making, you know, getting 3 miles to the gallon, okay, you're losing whatever that is, you know, and now you got to fill up again. So
Right.
it's like, what I'm saying. My point I'm getting at is that so I can see what they're talking about bringing electric trucks in and using them local, because first of all, is the, the price of diesel. You can and using electric vehicles or some other alternative like propane or something, so you can get higher. Because depending on the weight of whatever you're delivering on that last mile is what gets into your, let's say like I said, I'm using a tractor or a box truck with diesel costs. Because really and truly on a box truck, you can't go over 26,000 pounds unless you get a Class B. Then you can go, a little bit higher, or you use a Sprinter. The Sprinter, you don't want that. You don't want that no more than probably, 3,000 pounds, 4,000 pounds, or whatever. And because if not, you could be burning a lot of, in gas right now. From my understanding, I think it's $3.04. So you know what I'm saying? So electric vehicles right now is probably going to play a pivotal role in the up and coming dealing with the last miles. I think that's why you see a lot of robots today trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think I think that. So that's what I'm saying. I just think that the last mile is going to be, getting people to understand what it means. Because when they hear it, they're like, "Hey, what's the last mile?" And I'm like, that's the part of when it gets to the local area, whether it's delivering the rural or urban area. I mean, it's like you got that's the thing about it. When I purchased all the vehicles that we purchased at Crawford, when we purchased everything, that's why I was telling you that it was so much easier just to do. Like I said, if you go into like certain parts of Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can use a box truck to get in certain places, but then some places you just need a Sprinter to get in.
Right.
You can't really get a box truck in there.
Right.
And so like remember I was delivering those packages to Emory, uh, and man, I'm not saying a box truck couldn't have got
That
it there
was
and received it
easy.
there, but it was real
Right.
tight.
Right.
What's about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no, I was gonna say it's not easy to get up in Emory. It's tight in there.
And you remember when I worked at Coke, I remember they used to have these 16 bay trucks. You know what I'm saying? And they 16 bays, but they were never. The trailer wasn't that tall. They were more. They was calling a bay, and everything you did was based off everything on the side of the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Unload everything on the side. Well, they did
No,
that because they knew you were going in a
hold
certain
on.
area. That and,
Hold on. Hold
uh,
on.
okay. So everybody, like I said, we're talking about the last miles. The thing about the last miles, like I said, it's just literally it's just a term of basically saying that okay, it's like now coming from the distribution to the customer and how you get those items there, and I think that's where a lot of you're gonna start seeing a lot of electric vehicles. It's just like I never forget I was downtown, and I remember when I saw I seen the maybe I tell you I saw that the automated car as far as the one that the ride the car that you can get in and it takes you where you need to go and I saw that car. Can you hear me?
I
I can't hear you.
had my phone muted.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. I saw the
No,
car
you didn't
downtown.
tell me. Was somebody in it?
Yeah, it was some people in it. Yeah, they was in
And
the
they
back.
weren't be and
Yeah, it was.
they ain't seem
Well,
nervous or anything?
I mean I just saw it from a distance. It was getting off from MLK. And when I saw it, but it had this big old satellite on the top,
Uh-huh.
and then it had like the cameras on the side, and
Okay.
and it was getting off, at a decent speed, not fast, but it would get off at a speed like, it was 40, if the speed limit is 45, 50, it was doing like
Mm-hmm.
45, 48. So it was getting off, and I happened to look over there. I was like, wow,
Damn, ain't nobody driving that
nobody
damn
driving
car.
the car. You know what I'm saying? And so, and so what happened is that, it, it you okay? Uh-uh. Yeah, everybody. So yeah, like I said, yeah, what's wrong? You okay?
Excuse me.
Oh, you need some water?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got some.
Uh,
Just
okay.
drinking it off to the side.
Okay, gotcha. So like I said, that's why I think the automated vehicles is going to be definitely going to cut into the last miles,
Yeah.
because coming directly, I think we're seeing a lot of. Matter of fact, I think a lot of Amazon vehicles are electric vehicles. I think I see them. It's like their vehicles look a lot different than they used to look.
Yeah, they
Uh,
did. They are taking a.
Electric trucks and stuff.
No, I'm just saying their vehicles do look different.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying.
I think they're electric trucks. But anybody know, let me know. I just my point I'm getting at about the last mile. Just I'm talking about it because, individual like myself that, has, I do deals with, local deliveries and things like that, whether it be the semi or the box truck. I do those things. Uh, am I ready to invest in an electric vehicle? Uh, I don't know yet. It's not saying anything negative. It's just the fact is, um, how much is it going to cost to have the charging stations and,
Yeah.
things like that. And we're talking about, and we ain't talking about cars. We're talking about, everyday, you know, delivery, delivery vehicles, and that's the thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's going to cost. And if we're not getting any kind of like subsidies from the, from the government or anything, then I don't know if I'll do it because those vehicles are so expensive. They're very expensive. I looked at one. I never forget. It was a tractor. I think it was somewhere in the range of $120,000.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of see what I'm saying? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
would I make that back in the last mile because it being an electric vehicle? Um, without
That's
any,
something to look
without
at.
yeah, without any subsidies, I don't know. I don't know. So it's things like that when I think about the last mile, but that's what the last mile is, and but it does help with the environment and things like that. But it's still, the cost is just I don't know if I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready to invest. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so like I said, I get people asking me all the time, T Tori, how you do it? And I said I try to not run kind of sort of out of 50-mile radius. I try not to. It's just because once I go outside that 50-mile radius, um, you know, if I get over 200 miles or either between 200 and between 50 and 200-mile radius, it's just not worth it for me. I would automatically try to, because I know if I do 200 miles, I can come back. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a round
Mm-hmm.
trip, and because I'm gonna lose a little bit of deadhead in it,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe I could pick up something or whatever have you on my big way back. But when you're going 500 miles away, you got to make sure you got something coming back, or even getting closer. And a lot of times, depending on where you run, you may not make that money. So that's why I try to focus a little bit more on the last mile, trying to benefit, trying to grow my business around, warehouses and distribution centers that could use my services and keep the services competitive. But the only thing about it is that once those prices go to the point where they're using electric vehicles, I don't know how competitive I can be with that if their vehicles, if they're saving, let's say 50,000 in gas a year, because you know what our diesel prices are. And somebody be like, how you 50,000? Yes, 50,000.
Yeah.
You know, let's you know, that's
I
$1,000 a
need
week
you to
just
do
in
the math.
diesel. Do the
Yeah.
math. $1,000 a week in diesel.
Yeah.
That's and that's very simple. Just do the math
Very.
on it. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So if I gotta, so if so me competing, because this is what they'll tell you. Well, just like this, think about this. If you get the electric truck, you'll pay back all of that in diesel costs in 3 years, right? That's what they'll say, because it'd be 50,000 a year. I said the truck was like 120. Okay, but what about the infrastructure setup? You know,
Yeah.
how,
Mechanical, technical difficulties.
yeah, I mean,
And
having
how
the
much would
right,
it cost to if if you have a
well, you save on the fit
malfunction? If it's an electric vehicle, how do you fix a malfunction on an electric vehicle?
exactly, because the batteries are not cheap. Batteries are not cheap. So my point is that I see it going that route, but me being a person, a company that we run diesel,
Hmm.
it's just like when I remember when I bought our automatic. That was the first automatic as far as the box truck, outside the box truck and the Sprinter and all that. As far as the semis, that was the first automatic. And nothing against that automatic. I still like the stick automatic. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
stick. I'm sorry, the stick,
Yeah.
the manual, because you're a little bit more in control and to me it has a little bit more power. But anyway, that's the thing about it. Is I'm just saying, when you get to the last mile, I'm my on this platform, I'm trying to encourage people what the last mile is. I'm explaining to people what the last mile is, which, like I said, it's about basically completing the process. But that's usually your box truck, sprinters, and all that. But it's a process in between where it comes from the train. I mean, it comes from the ship to the train, or from the or from the ship on the truck to the distribution. So I was just getting into, once it gets to the last mile, gets a little bit local. There's only so much money left in the kitty or the pot to get it to the customer. So if you start having electric vehicles there, the electric vehicles, the companies that had electric vehicles might win the day. That's basically what I'm getting at, because of the if they running if you if to bring your truck a day
Hmm.
costs you 100, and you want to put depending on where you're going out to. Let's say you put $150 in your truck a day in diesel.
Right.
Depending on how much deadhead is in there, it's going to eat into that diesel. So if you spend a whole week, let's say let's say $700, I'm sorry, $600 in diesel
Hmm.
that week. You see what I'm saying? Technically, technically, if you made if they're saying, okay, we're paying you to do this run, let's just say every day, and you have to be able to make a certain amount to make that diesel back. That's basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You have to be, because you're not gonna burn the whole $170, $200. Uh-uh. You're not gonna burn the whole. But the point I'm getting at is that you have deadhead and there's little things that you do. But that's why I said these electric vehicles is going to make everybody that does last mile going to kind of step up. That's all I'm telling everybody when I want to get over about the last mile. I
Hmm.
think that the electric vehicle is going to start making it a little bit more okay. Saving on this and saving on that. That's basically what I'm getting at.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So. Everybody, like I said, we're just talking about last mile vehicles. What last mile mean? Last mile is basically, you know, it's the complete part of the finished product as far as delivering, whether it's to the distribution or it's to the customer. Um, but it's a process, and like I said, I only brought that. I wanted to kind of push this because it kind of brings into the narrative of what I was talking last week. We were talking about the tariff taxes on the North America, and then the new trade that Trump has us under, and how different things like tariffs and all that stuff plays a role in it. All this stuff is plays a role in it, whether it gets on a train or a tractor, to try to save costs. Um, and in the near future, because of tariffs, it might now start trying to, they might try to, the electric vehicle might be able to um, move it a lot cheaper. You know what I'm saying? The only difference with the electric vehicle, depending on the weight and things like that, how much do you have to go back to a charging station after so many hours? How long does it stay charged? Because now when you start driving it, it can have the regular wear and tear.
Right.
It's how long does it keep a charge? And then
Right.
where's your charging station? So a lot of those things is going to throw, a lot of those things are coming into play when I say, with the last mile. But the last mile is, like I said, basically is the process where, like I said, it includes a lot of things like the electric truck, electric vehicle, bikes, Sprinter, um,
Fans.
vans, things like
Hmm.
that. Box trucks, and then also they got the 16-foot box truck. And a lot of them 16-foot box trucks, they look a lot like and I'll give you a kind of example. It's like the U-Haul. The U-Haul,
Oh.
those are 16.
Hmm.
Then they got, so my point is that, so anybody that wants to get in here and learn, say, hey, you know what, about the last mile, how to understand, and then, how to charge, the last mile, like, remember how we created a carrier route. I'm sorry, a courier route. And the courier route is the type of route that is what you see with Emory, I'm sorry, with Amazon. And we had to put something together where it's a certain price per move. And
Right.
if you want to know that, you can come live with me. I love to sit down and consult with you and talk to you about how to put certain things together. Like I said, excuse me. And me and my wife, like I said, this is what we do. Because at the end of the day, if you want your last mile to be where, hey, really just trying to find my way, it's like give you this the example, you know, dealing with the Sprinter. It's just a few companies out here that that I'm trying to get on with to put the Sprinter to make sure the Sprinter's moving. Um, and one of them's called Curry, and it's Curri. That particular uh, um, you know, I guess you could call it a broker or whatever have you. You can sign up with them. But you could do that with your Sprinter, and some of them I think do it in their cars. So
Yeah.
there's so many ways to kind of make money. But the point is that you just got to know the numbers, and that's what I'm here for. To try to tell you, hey, this is what you want to charge, and you want to base things off of insurance, the wear and tear, fuel, um, and all the things that come into where if you're trying to make money, when you're trying to make money to cover your cost and everything. So that's so like I said, those things like that, it's a those things is what a lot of people I think get frustrated with. I've talked to a few that has talked to me, but like I said, those type of things right there, those are last miles.
Yeah.
Those type of, like, even when you do medical, the medical
Hmm.
career, those are last
Hmm.
mile. Because I didn't know, like I told you last week, I found out that over 50%, over. Now I don't know the number totally over, but I just know it's over 50%.
Hmm.
And I just don't have it. Don't quote me on it. I don't want nobody to quote me on it, but I know you can quote me on over 50%. I know this is stated. But just last week when I was trying to get my printer printed out, it talked about how a lot of your generic brands uh, that they're produced in India, and how they were saying that the tariff tax would hurt them because, like I said, when you get into the distribution part of shipping it from overseas to here, and then, like I said, they got to get it to the ship, and then and then the ship got to get it here, from India, and then it's got to be taken off the ship, and then it's got to be put on a chassis truck to, let's say, in Atlanta, or it's got to be put on a train, transported to Atlanta, and then it's got to be from the rail yard. It's got to be put on a chassis truck to the distribution, and then from distribution, it's got to be, you know, truck to the medical places, or sprinted to the, sprinted. So the point I'm getting at is that when you add a tariff tax in there, that's just, right, it raised the cost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
where it raised the cost at is telling the customer before I ship it to you, this is the rate. Because I already know I'm shipping to Atlanta. I mean, I'm sorry, I already know I'm shipping to America, and you got to pay that up front, Jack.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So so that goes back to that. So, but I think a lot of times, unless somebody orders like the same thing over and over and over and over again, you don't get to see the adjustments other than, like I told you, when I was dealing with those bulbs for my for the Sprinter, and I remember buying it was like $5. Then all of a sudden it went up to like $7.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, wow, So my point is that, you know, um, you know, I'm just trying to, when I get on here live and I'm talking to everybody, what's up here? When I get on here live and I'm talking to everybody about the the different things that tariffs and I mean transportation and how things work. I try to get on here to try to give everybody, and that's why I ask you sometimes, hey, ask me questions or whatever, because we do this every day.
You're right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's just us, kind of trying to let them know, hey, if you don't, you know, if you don't, if you don't know, if you want to get into business, reach out to me. Reach out to me, Crawford Logistics and Associates.com,
Mhm.
and or you can call us you can give us a call. Like I said, you just reach out to us, and like I said, I'll be open to try to support. Uh, oh, you still out there, man? Wow. I thought you would be done by now. I thought you said, yeah, I thought you was done. Oh, okay. I guess you're still getting that last load. See, like even Darrell getting the last load in. When we pull stuff from the rail yard, he pulling stuff from the rail yard for that last pull.
Yeah.
Sometimes trying to get it in from, all kind of distribution centers, and they get it in it coming in off the rail yard.
Mhm.
Yep, yep. So, yep. You got anything, man?
No.
Okay. You all right? Let's see. Oh, you picked up three more, Perry. Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Just a little choking action going on. That's all.
Okay, gotcha. So, uh, take a guess of how much you think the average package costs to the average household? What you think the average?
The average package to
The cost,
20.
like if you get a cost to, like when you get your packages from Amazon, or packages delivered to the house. Like if you did, like you do an Instacart, what is your average cost? You did Instacart.
Between 50 to $80.
No, I'm talking about the shipping cost. Just take your
Well, the
shipping cost.
average is between $10 to $15.
Yeah. So what happened
That's
is
average
that
shipping. That's like if I have to ship something or get something delivered out, not Instacart shipping, but regular shipping. If I'm ordering online, um,
I
it's
use
between.
Instacart because I know you did Instacart recently. I was trying to get
That's
you
like
because it's still
that's
transportation. It's still that's a final mile just from the grocery store.
yeah, but that's like $6 or $7.
Yeah, but I'm saying the average is, like I said, it's still what I was getting at was that regardless in the transportation cost, whether it be on a bike, a car, there's a cost in there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So depending on where that, but then also too, there's that should the shipping cost, right? But then there's also a delivery fee in there. So that delivery fee can be tied into each package. So let's, like I said, if you spend $40, $6 is just that's the shipping. But then the customer, depending on depending on you know what they want to charge as far as adding a delivery fee in there too. Because remember how our we have a pickup fee, remember, and then you have then you have your delivering fee. You see what I'm saying? Because you got to pick it up and then you got to go deliver it.
Yeah.
You kind of see what I'm saying? That's what I mean when I'm saying how all certain things you don't never think of it as a last mile. Like I said, the Instacart coming from even that person bringing their card, that's still a last mile because
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
can't do.
I get it.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
So yeah. So that's what I mean. When sometimes when people get to tying things together, you know, and then if it's $6, if you look on there and just letting everybody know when you're dealing with things, uh, uh, if it's $6 to because I think one of the I'm not going to use their name too much on my platform, but I think they got stars beside if you give a certain amount of a tip. So one of the tips I think is highest is 25%.
Mm-hmm.
And it say something. I think the one at 25% it says you're excellent, something like that.
Oh wow.
And yeah, but if your food is $70, that tip can be anywhere. Like I said, 25% of that $70.
10% is 7. And you go up
Yeah, but
from here.
yeah.
25, what would that be? Huh?
I'm sorry. What'd you say, man?
I said 25%.
Yeah, if you got 10, that's 14% plus another five. That's half of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's half of a seven. So you're talking about somewhere in the range of $17 to
Mm-hmm.
deliver $70 worth of whatever. But if you think about it for a moment, uh, if it's $70, which and they give you do 25% because somebody telling you you're excellent. You know what I'm saying? But at the average, if the average car should be getting like in diesel, a truck gets like 6 miles to the gallon, or a vehicle should be getting 6 miles to the gallon. I think diesel burn a little bit more. I think diesel don't. I don't know if you. I don't know. Some diesel can get higher. I mean, some gas can get higher than diesel. So the point is that let's say for instance if that car wherever you delivering, let's say you get it from one of the local grocery stores, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they charging you this amount, they got to cover their gas. That's why they got to throw the delivery fee in there because let's say their car doesn't get over, and I've seen some of these cars doesn't get over 7 miles to the gallon, and it's at $3. Man, you don't want to go over 10 miles, but delivering an Instacart or what I'm saying. The point I'm trying to get at is that uh, there's a lot of cost in the fuel, and you want to make sure that when you're dealing with in transportation that you're making money and you're not losing money. It's so easy to lose money in the fuel cost side. That's basically what I'm saying. Uh, you know,
Understand. Yeah, I can understand that.
yeah, that's it. So, um, yep. So yeah, but so yeah, that's all it is. So everybody, I was on here trying to just kind of just bring everybody up to speed. Some people ask me what that is, and I was just trying to bring them up to what last mile is. Um, and just try to just tell everybody, basically, little things like that. It makes a difference. I know last week I talked about the tariff tax. Um, you ever had anybody ask you anything about that stuff? I'm just asking. You know,
Who, me?
yeah.
No. No, I don't get asked those type of questions. I'm in the office, so most of the time. So I don't get asked those type of questions.
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully somebody asks you about the last mile. We'll see. People. Some things, like I said, I try to get people to understand food for thought. You should always know. You should always want to know because why certain things. Because people just pay it and just move on. But you should always know why you're paying that because it's a cost in everything. Uh, and when stuff start getting a little higher, you start like, okay, why I paid this last time, why I'm paying this time? Because you need to know that petroleum or whatever just went up. Or when you get ready to say, okay, do I want to do that Instacart or do that, or do I want to go to, uh, will call is what I was thinking, the word I was trying to get out. Do I want to go to that distribution center and keep that will call price down? Like when
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Those are will calls. Will calls, you can go pick it up yourself, and
Hmm.
that will save you money on shipping.
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's what I'm saying. So sometimes you can try to cut out certain things if you understand uh the what to cut out and things like that. If you can. Some people don't, some distribution centers don't allow you to come there, or fulfillment centers. But
Hmm.
pretty much a lot of them do. They'll allow you to come in there and pick up your own package, and that way a lot of times when you pick it up, if it ain't right, you can get right back to them and say, hey, this ain't right, and so the point is that then guess what? If that happens, it's not right. They'll ship it to you for free.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like versus getting something shipped to you and it ain't right. And then you
Right.
got to ship it, and then they say, well, like I told you, that customer is saying they just best to not even charge you a shipping cost because just keep it, and we'll ship you another one. So that's why I say I always try to get everybody to think about the just in transportation. That's what Transportation 2 is about. It's really about when I get on here, when we get on here, it's just really getting everybody to understand that, the role that it plays to make the world go round. It's like I said, I did I posted, I sent Carrie some things that I posted about picking up, P&D. And somebody said, what is P&D? It's pick up and delivery. So, but that's something that, I did a video on it and try to take you through the process of what it takes to make sure you pick up the product from the customer, the loading of it, depending on how many pallets it was. In this case, I'm not gonna give how many pallets it was, but but the point is that it was so the point was multiple pallets to be delivered, and you have to handle that as far as what we call it a white glove.
Hmm.
White glove means you put your hands on it.
Right.
And so, and when somebody it's like that's what that means. When somebody say white glove, you putting your hands on it, and then that's the handling fee.
Hmm.
So a lot of times you might get you might get something that has a handling fee,
Hmm.
and that that's a part of the last mile that
Hmm.
can make that price be a little higher and stuff like that. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Perry. So I see you on here, man. Carrie, I see you on here, man. Um, yep, got you, man. So everybody, just glad you're on here. Like I said, man, I get on the live and I try to get everybody involved. I mean, I'm hoping that it works. I do it, but I just try to show consistency with stuff. And I don't know if it helps, but I hope it does help. Try to get people involved. Like I said, my wife get on here with me. I do Transportation Tuesday. I think it's imperative, important. Some people have to tell me all the time, man, I watch your lives. Sometimes I watch it afterwards. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if transportation, you need me, you can, where to find us at. You can go to CLAlogistics.com. You can go to our website. I'm sorry, go to our website, CLA, CrawfordLogisticsAssociates.com. Um, you can go to our YouTube page and see the different segments and everything that we have. Or like I said, you can DM me. You can go to CLA on Facebook. Any way you want to can get at me. Just try to be here and be a beacon of hope and hoping everybody, just to continue to, spread the word. We're on TikTok also. I'm currently in school doing things, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to do a lot. My biggest thing is that I just try to use the platform to be, somewhere somebody can say, hey, you know what? I know somebody you can talk to about transportation. That's what a beacon of hope is about. I mean, being there for people. You got anything?
No, just not really. No, just trying to get back on track with Crawford Naturals. Um, but that's about it.
Gotcha. Okay, everybody. I cut my beard. I trimmed it down a little bit. Everybody, I'm gonna try to grow it back. So just keep an eye on it as you see me grow my beard back. I'm using Crawford Natural product my wife making everything. I just trimmed it down, but I'm gonna grow it back out. It was a little hot, so I feel I want to kind of trim it down a little bit. So, but I do use Crawford Natural product. And like I said, you can go to you want to tell them the website, man.
Shop.crawfordnaturals.com. That's where you could go to find your men's beer products.
Okay. So yeah, everybody, just want to tell you that, like I said, I do I use it so faithfully. Just try to, like I said, I trim my beard down and I trimmed it down a little bit because, like I said, summertime, but I'll grow it back out once it gets back kind of like cold. So, not saying that guys that I know guys like my son, he grows his beard out. He's keeping it naturally, he grabs his year round. So, he uses the product too. But the point is that, just go and support, support Crawford Naturals, shop Crawford Naturals and .com and that, definitely, tell somebody else about it. So everybody wants to thank you for getting on the live. Like I said, I think the lives next week I'm probably gonna try to go through. I want to try to do it in a way where it's, uh, you know, you know, I try to think my lives to be educational, but I want to make it a little bit more educational